Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Vintage Cube draft. Pretty awesome pack to start, mostly because of the lands. We have 3 fetch lands and Strip Mine, which is kind of wild, especially with Titania there. Titania bringing back any of these is pretty good. Outside of the lands, Triome is okay, but worse than all of these. You could take Chromox, you could take Probe, maybe Path. I think I'm going to take the strip. It's close. If I had to take one of the lands, I would probably still take Polluted Delta. Back in the day, it was very clear, like, you always want the blue fetch land. It's a little bit more ambiguous now, and there's a consideration for any of them. But I think I'd still actually rather take the strip. It just leaves us very open. I mean, so does a fetch land, but we are also pretty likely to wheel a fetch land, actually, or at least Titania, which works pretty well with this. What do we want here? Fairly weak pack. Tireless Tracker is good with all those fetch lands if we wheel one of those. We could take Chandra, which is just a good card. It's a little bit committal with it being double red, but it is really powerful, and Strip Mine is great in red decks. Could also take Blood Crypt. I don't think it's like Shadow Spear. Revoker's okay, it leaves us open, but it is just a lot weaker than Chandra. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take the Chandra. I'm not committed to red, but I do think it's a good pairing for this style of deck. Now we see Ponder, which is interesting, but let's take a Stomping or a Scalding Tarn here. I would love to be blue-red if Ponder somehow wheels. I'll take that, but we'll take the Scalding Tarn. There's an argument to Stomping Ground if you want to lean into red-green and try to get Renin 6, but let's just take the fetch. Interesting. So there's a Hull Breacher. That's pretty late for a Hull Breacher. Also Mana Drain, which is wild to see. I think I'll take the Breacher, though. Yeah, that seems pretty sweet. A little sad to be passing the Mana Drain this late, but this is harder to cast anyways. There is also Oliphant, but yeah, Hull Breacher is just busted, especially if we can find, like, blue-red gives you both, like, Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune. So now I'll take Thundering Falls over Thought Scour or Robber of the Rich. Really good late pickup. So we can already find it off of Scalding Tarn. Wow, interesting position. So there's Ketria Triumph, which would help with the mana, especially, I mean, it opens up the Renin 6 or Minsc Boo. There's also Expressive Iteration, which is one of the best card draw spells, but also Breach. Like, Breach is insanely good. Blue-red is the color combination for it, where you get to play, like, Brain Freeze and, like, just all the cantrips, Thought Scour maybe if it wheels. I feel like it's Iteration, though. It's close. Like, Breach is so good, and it might come around. But Iteration is just like way more consistent. It can like find our combo, set up our draw sevens. I think I'm gonna take the Breach or the Iteration, but it's very close. Now I'll take a pretty easy Serum Visions. That's great. Yawgmoth spell is funny. There's Magda, which could get there, but yeah, easy Serum Visions. Very good pickup, especially if we end up getting like Dragon's Rage Channeler, Grim Lavamancer, that sort of threat. Wow. Okay, so there's Renin 6 if we want to try to go that direction. We have the like a fetch land and a strip mine. There's also Talisman of Curiosity, which would be great, and Subtlety. So a lot of good considerations. Even Valky, maybe. Tough to cast, but it's good if you get the 2-mana Jace. I think I'm actually going to take the Talisman, though. Just stay streamlined. Like, Ren is... Oh, but it's so good, especially if we want one of those fetches. Yeah, I think the upside is just so high. I'm going to take it. I hope we wheel a fetch. Even Subtlety. Like, that was a great pack, and all of those are good cards for us. But I think the Renin 6 upside, when we already have Strip Mine specifically, is just too high to pass up on. And then we have, card draw to find it. We do wheel fetch. That's great. Not the best fetch, but not the worst either. I don't think we need the Titania. Probe would be okay, but... So yeah, 2 fetches plus Renin 6. We didn't get the Ketria Triome, so that's a pretty high priority. I really hope we can find some green fetchable lands. We also saw a Stomping Ground going around, although Polluted Delta can't grab that. Yeah, the Ketria Triumph would be a really good late pickup. But even if we don't get that, I think this deck is looking sweet. Okay, I think it's Duelist of the Mind here, which is pretty interesting. It's very good with Renin 6. Might not get there, but it's a pretty powerful threat in the right deck. I don't think we need Stoic Sphinx. Yeah, I'll take this. Stomping Ground wheeled, but so did Daze. That's a close pick. I think I gotta take the Stomping Ground, though, if I want to play Renin 6. It gives us 2 green sources right off the bat. Daze would be great, but this is pretty important. Also, just seeing a super late Stomping Ground means it's maybe more likely we'll be able to pick up Minsc Boo. Not the red-green card I wanted, but am I going to take it? It's pretty weak. The alternative would be like Vampiric Tutor, in case we end up splashing black and go more in the draw 7 direction, which I think is where I want to be. This card is just pretty bad, honestly. If it could give itself haste, it would be pretty good. Maybe even quite good, but it's just not good the way it is currently. I don't think I want Primus. I also don't think I want this, but could get there. Tamiyo is interesting. Actually, maybe a card we want to play. If we get Uro, we definitely want to play this. Also, if we get Time Walk. No Ketria Triumph on the wheel, but still. Like, all the Ketria Triumph would do is make Polluted Delta get green, and we have time to make that happen. Okay, so this is interesting. There's Orcish Bowmasters. That's the kind of card that would make me want to go into black as well. The alternative would be to take some fixing, so kind of opposite ends of the spectrum here. We could take Fabled Passage, which is probably what I would want to take in my Renin 6 deck. But honestly, I think this is the pick, and now we can just take any draw 7 really highly. And we're set up in all the colors to play, like, all of the draw set. We can play Sail into the West, we can play Wheel of Fortune, we can also play Leovold. I think I'm going to speculate on the Orcish Bowmasters and really try to get there on the draw 7s. I just found that to be a pretty good plan. Now we can take a Hedge Maze. There's also Shelldock Isle, but I think Hedge Maze is where I want to be, which makes Polluted Delta get green. If this was black as well, I would take it. Okay, interesting. There's Creeping Tar Pit. I would rather a fetchable land, but it's still helpful. Mana Vault doesn't look at its best in this deck. Could take Bone Crusher Giant. Could take Counterspell. I do have a lot of... Or I guess I only have 2 tapped lands, but I don't love Tar Pit here. Close pick. I think I'm slightly leaning towards just taking Counterspell. Although Counterspell is awkward with some of our stuff, it's bad with Chandra. I do want some removal. I think I'm going to take the Counterspell, though. So here we see Taiga. There is Fractured Identity, but I don't think I'm going to go in that direction. A lot of good blue cards, but nothing that's great. So I think I'm just going to take Taiga. Could also take Underground Mortuary, actually, which we can find off of Polluted Delta. It gives us a black fetchable land, and then maybe we try to wheel Taiga. Yeah, we already have a red-green fetchable land. I think having a diversity of types of like, fetchables is pretty important when we have multiple fetches. We have seen a lot of fetches go by, so it might be hard to get a third, but I would love to do so. Yeah, I'll take this. Now I'll take a Force of Will. Great pickup. Like, Seasoned Pyromancer is okay. Boseiju is interesting with Renin 6, but I think Force of Will is just really, really good. Okay, a couple options here. The spiciest is Ignoble Hierarch, which is fully on color, but we're base blue deck. I think that's a little too much. There is Bring to Light. I think we passed Valky, though, already, which makes that a lot less good. It's still okay if we have a draw 7, but I don't think that's where we want to be. So then it becomes Cryptic Command versus Cutdown. We're moving away from Chandra, I think, since we have, like, it's not good with Counterspell or Force. So I think I'm actually going to take Cryptic and just be like a more heavy blue deck. We have like a lot of instant speed threats. Yeah, I think Cryptic Command is where I want to be. We might be able to wheel the removal spell. Okay, we did not get through the breach, so I don't think we care about Lion's Eye Diamond. Karakas is kind of interesting. We're not playing white, though. It's like a sideboard card more than anything else. I don't think anything else looks very good in this pack, though, so I will take this. Now we see a couple more pieces of white fixing and a Kaito. Ledger Shredder doesn't look at its best here. We have a fairly low curve, but not a lot of ones, mostly twos. So yeah, let's just take Kaito. Pretty good pickup. Really hoping to find a draw 7. I like have multiple things that make it asymmetrical, so that's our top priority by far. Here we have Nurturing Peatland. I don't think we need Crucible of Worlds, but there's Nurturing Peatland, which is good with Ren. There's also just Tishana's Tidebinder, which is good with Hull Breacher and like our sort of general Flash game plan. There's even Flametongue Kavu as a consideration, which secretly might be the pick. No, I'm actually going to take the Nurturing Peatland. It's close. Kavu would be okay, but this is like another good land with Renin 6, and it helps with the fixing as well. Arc Trail, Treachery, Hard Evidence. I'm actually going to take a Treachery here. This is fallen out of favor. It's not as good as it used to be, but I think it looks pretty solid here, actually. Now we can take Bone Crusher Giant. The white splash is like staring us in the face, but I just don't have any white cards I'm that excited about. And Bone Crusher Giant is like a nice pickup, especially if we pass the Kavu. Okay, do we want Jace or Malcolm? I think they're both better than Fairy Mastermind. Malcolm plays better with the Flash Plan, like Hull Breacher, Bowmasters, and the Counter Magic, so I'll take that. Iconoclast might get there. Okay, so we know exactly what we want. Draw 7s. If we can get 2, I think this deck is amazing. If we get 0, this deck is okay. I mean, we still have good interaction and like a solid suite of Planeswalkers, but we need something broken right now. Like it could be Uro, it could be Time Walk, or it could be a draw 7. And I think we need one of those 3 at least pretty badly. This is a maybe. Probably not though at the moment. Well, if we get any of those combos, then this could become good. Bergie is weirdly interesting, but there's like a bunch of Storm stuff going around. I don't think that's what we're doing though. Okay, well, I think we got to take Wheel of Fortune. That's great. Lorien Revealed, Xander's Lounge would both be really nice as well, but Wheel of Fortune is perfect. We're trying to play red. We have Bowmasters and Hull Breacher, just exactly what we want. Would not mind another one. Oh, now this is a tough choice. Fable of the Mirror Breaker is like just incredible, but so is Wooded Foothills. And I think I'm actually going to take the fetch here. In my like 4-color Ren and 6 Cryptic Command deck, it just adds so much consistency. This card is busted. I think it's still Wooded Foothills. Definitely let me know in the comments on this decision, because this is a pretty pivotal one. It's very rare. Like, there's a lot of situations where my mindset is like fetch lands over everything, and then there's a couple spells that are so good that they override that. And Fable is one of the few that does that. I will often take that over fetch, even when like my mana base is the weakness. But I think in this case, it's also just like, you know, it finds Thundering Falls, it finds Hedge Maze, it finds Stomping Ground, Mortuary. Like, I think this just has to be the pick. Now it's probably Spell Pierce. There are a lot of blue cards in this pack, though, so one interesting idea would be to take Firebolt and then wheel one of the blue cards, which should work. Lotus Cobra also looks okay, but I think a cheap interactive spell is better. Yeah, honestly, we have pretty good counter magic and not good removal. I think I'm going to take the Firebolt here and then hope to wheel one of these 2 blue cards. Okay, could just take a Fiery Islet here, but Dragon's Rage Channeler actually looks pretty sweet. I don't think I want like Cruel Ultimatum. I think Blooming Marsh is only okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Channeler. This card looks really good here. We have a lot of non-creatures. I guess we don't have a ton of cantrips, but we also have like Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, let's take this. Okay, I'll just take a Watery Grave here. Good late pickup. We actually didn't have a blue-black fetchable land, and we can find that with 2 of our 3 fetches. Maybe we can wheel one of these man lands. I would play either of those as well, but yeah, pretty happy to get a late Watery Grave. There's Underground Sea if we want more. There's also Mystical Tutor, which finds basically just Wheel of Fortune. Maybe that's worth it, though. We're kind of built around Wheel of Fortune, but also we have Vampiric Tutor if we care about that. I don't think we need multiple tutors. Even Territorial Kavu is a consideration, actually. But I think I'm just going to take the Underground Sea. Yeah, none of these cards are essential. Leovold, wow. Yeah, I'll take that over Spire Bluff Canal. Great late pickup. So we now have 3 things to make the draw 7 asymmetrical, so I definitely want to play Vampiric Tutor. I might even want Mystical Tutor now that I have 3 of these and only 1 of the draw 7s. But still, great spot. Now we could take probably Unholy Heat. I think that's better than Highway Robbery. Yeah, let's take this. Okay. Do we want Charter Course, Shieldred Edict, or Waterlogged Grove? Our removal is coming together. I don't feel like I need Shieldred as badly now. Or Shieldred Edict. So it's kind of tempting to just take some card draw. It's also a blue card for Force. And we have a reasonably high creature count to enable it. But we don't have that much removal. And no, I think it actually is Shieldred Edict. Yeah, it's very good interaction. Pillage the Bog Wheel, that's nice. There's also Ramunap Excavator, which is kind of interesting. I think Pillage the Bog is going to be better in this deck. Yeah, really good card selection. Spell Pierce Wheel, that's amazing. So we could just run it like this with 17 lands. We have a fairly low curve, but we also have strip mine and heavy color requirements, so I don't think I want to go below 17. We don't have enough green cards for Force of Vigor. This would be a great sideboard card in certain matchups, but we're kind of base blue-red, so getting another blue-red land is good. We have 2 pain lands, and you gotta, like, both pain lands and tapped lands in different ways can just present problems. So you want to make sure you don't overload on either of those categories. We have 2 pain lands and 3 tapped lands. I think that's okay. Nettlecyst sucks. Nissa sucks. I will take Scrubland in case we end up wheeling Territorial Kavu. Huh. Dark Confidant actually might be good here. The problem is we don't have much life gain, but our curve is pretty low. I don't think we can play this many creatures, so I need to cut one. It probably comes down to either the Dark Confidant or Duelist of the Mind. Also noting that we could cut both and bring in this. Yeah, I think this is like the core of the deck. Let's see. So Duelist of the Mind is really good with Wheel of Fortune, which is notable since we're like building around Wheel of Fortune. We don't have like Brainstorm or that many cantrips. We do have a decent number of ways to commit crimes though. Like it loots whenever you use like a burn spell or spell pierce. Go to the Ren. This just goes wide, but we don't have much. I mean, it's okay just as a win condition, I guess, but that's not really what we're about. I think that's less interesting. This can find either Leovold or Wheel of Fortune. So this is also a consideration. I can't play this and Dark Confidant. I think I do want to do 17 lands, though. So I can only play one of these cards. Let's just bring in the Duelist of the Mind. I think that's the best pick. It gives us card selection without hitting us for 5. So let's see how this would look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue. Seems great. For black, we have... For black fetchables, we have not much, actually. Just the Mortuary. Oh, no. Blue, black, and blue. Yeah, we have a green and blue fetches. So 1, 2... Wait. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a little light, but we don't have that much black either. I think that's fine. For red, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That feels a little low, actually. I think we need to add another red source. For green, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we can pretty safely cut that forest. Is Chandra good? It's a good card. We have, we're kind of heavy on the red now. It's bad with Force of Will and Counterspell and Spell Pierce, but everything else in the deck is actually pretty solid with. I think I like playing it. Then I think we just cut Duelist of the Mind. Yeah, let's do it like that. This deck looks really sweet. 4-color Wheel of Fortune. See you in round 1. Alright, we are on the play for round 1 with a great hand. Wow. We have Strip Mine, we have Counterspell for their turn 2 play, and then we also just have Bowmasters plus Wheel of Fortune, which hits them for how much? Let's see, you would have an 8/8 dude, you would ping them 8 times, so 17 damage. Not bad. I'm not going to play Strip Mine here, or, well, we'll see what we draw, but probably not Strip Mining. Yeah, let's just pass with Counterspell up, and Bowmasters, of course. And then once this is in the graveyard, we can return it with the green Planeswalker. That's, oh my god. Wow, that is not going to go well for my opponent over there. Orcish Bowmasters, this is exactly how he drew it up. Kill your dude. Untap. Land Wheel of Fortune. Dome them 7 times. Put them to 13. Attack them for 8. Put them to 5. And pass, and we have an 8/8 in play. And we also just have 7 new cards. So that was domination. Definitely not a situation for Dark Confidant, but these two both seem okay. Wrath of God would be good, but I'm not going to contort my mana base for that. Vampiric Tutor's Life Loss is a bit dicey. Treachery is probably not good. Their cards are too cheap, and they can like burn their own thing in response. Vampiric Tutor's super dicey. Like, paying life is not great. We also don't have a board sweeper to find with it. I mean, it can find Wheel of Fortune, but I think I would rather just have, like, a cheap threat. Like, this dude is actually pretty solid here. A Flying Vigilance, 3 Toughness blocker. So we could just do this. Then the problem is we're a little bit higher on creatures, which makes, like, all of our things that want us to play non-creatures, like Third Path Iconoclast and Dragon's Rage Channeler, a little worse. I think this is still a solid way to run it, though. Do we want to change the mana base at all? Do we want to cut the pain lands? Like, maybe Nurturing Peatland is worse than a basic forest, actually. Because we still have, I think, plenty of black sources, and we cut a black card. Yeah, let's run it like this. Just trying to avoid paying life against the red deck. Okay, good hand. We have to decide. We have to shock if we want to play Malcolm on turn 2, unless we just play this on turn 1. But I think I want to get the Mortuary into play turn 1. I might end up just pitching Malcolm to the Force. Okay, yeah, let's just play this and dig for lands, I think. Definitely do not want iteration here. It's not the worst because it pitches to Force, and we're not that far away from playing it, but our hand is just so mana hungry, I don't think we want something that's slow. So we could stomp that. Ooh. Okay, we could also Bowmasters that. This card is just so busted. The fact that it's a combo card, while also just being, like, amazing against creatures, and amazing against card draw, and amazing against counter magic, and amazing against other Bowmasters. Just, like, truly an absurd card. Splashable, cheap, good on offense and defense. It's not always good. Like, again, it makes small creatures. So if the opponent just has a couple 4/4s, then and they're not playing card draw, then it's not as good. But even then, it's still good if it's a combo card in your deck. That's fine. I'll take my 3 for 1. And now we can get Kaito into play and start drawing cards immediately. At the cost of 2 life. Definitely worth it. We haven't played any fetches too, so that's our first time hurting ourselves. Life totals are both high. And now if I didn't have the Force of Will, I would think I'm slightly ahead. But with the Force of Will, I think we're like 80% to win at least. Poor bad player for life. With the croaking counterpart. Probably not just going to shock Chandra into play next turn. I'm just going to play tap land and hold up all my instants. Here comes the Wrenn and 6. Or Minsc and Boo meant. Yeah, definitely going to force this. Like, we could try to beat it, and we have Sheoldred's Edict, but I just don't want to take 4 and have to deal with derailing our plan for that too much. Now I probably should play the Chandra. Oh, that's interesting. Let's start by hitting. If I draw a blue card, I'll definitely just Kaito or Tamiyo minus to bring back the Force of Will. Nice. It's pretty sweet. Drawing 2 cards a turn so we can afford to be pitching cards against this. Next turn we can stick our 3rd Planeswalker in Chandra. I guess we plus looking for... It's either Wheel of Fortune or one of our draw 7 cards, probably. I mean, we could just name, like, Counterspell or something, although we don't even have double blue right now. I think I'll just name Counterspell, actually, if I draw a blue source. We don't need to go for any combos right now. We just need to interact. We're ahead enough on board that will take over. Fiery Confluence to dome me for 6. Or 5 and hit me for... I think I'm going to let this resolve. Don't love that we lost our creature for Kaito. I might take a turn off of plussing and just minus. Okay, so... I'll plus naming counterspell. Okay, so we can return Wrenn and 6 if we want to down the road. Let's play this. Crack it. I think I want to get a blue source, so yeah, I'll just get Hedge Maze. That's fine. I think I'm fine graveyarding this. Then I'll just play Chandra and plus to dome them for 2. And I'm going to make a 1-1 with Kaito. Swamp. Happy to see that one go. Make a 1-1 and pass. We have 3 Planeswalkers. We have Force of Will up. Seems like a pretty good place to be. The Planeswalker is spanning quite a few colors. I might just bring back Wrenn and 6, honestly. Like, that means we lose our Kaito. I think that's fine. Okay, I'm going to let this resolve. We'll see how much mana they make out of it, but we can probably force whatever they ritual it into. This card has really not impressed me, but, like, yeah, we'll see what they're able to do with it. Jite, okay, that's fine. We can just stomp that. That's fine. So they're out of cards. Yeah, looking good here. I hope they don't concede because I want to just have a little fun. Let's bring back Wrenn and 6. Play Wrenn and 6. Return Thundering Falls. Play Stomp. I guess I'll just plus this for mana. Cast this Bone Crusher. Minus this again to make another dude. Surveil. And then pass. Still with Force of Will up and Cryptic Command for the following turn. This is beautiful. I love it. They play Mountain and pass. Wow. Their tenacity is truly inspiring. We'll hit them for 5. Draw a card. Dome them for 2. Counterspell. Whatever shall we do? Pass turn. And then next turn we'll just Ultimate Chandra and kill them. They draw land. Alright. Well, not the most competitive first match in either game. I'll take it though. Fun little introduction to the league. See you in round 2. Alright, we are on the play for round 2 against Wild. Very good hand. I'll keep. Just going to play tap land here. Don't know exactly what I'm digging for with Serum Visions yet. We're kind of a combo deck, but not fully. The more like proactive and combo-y you are, the more you want to play Serum Visions early. But in this case, we don't know like how much we want burn spells and whatnot. Okay, I'll play the second blue source. Just pass with Malcolm up. Do I want to trade Malcolm with Figure or just be looting? I think I'd rather just be looting. I'm pretty happy if they just put a mana into this here. Sure. That doesn't do too much against us. I guess they could name like Kaito here. They'll probably name Black Lotus. Liliana of the Veil, okay, makes sense. Interesting draw. So if I find a green source, I will cast that for sure. Okay, I think I'm going to discard Fiery... no, we don't need 2 mountains, probably. I don't want to play the Fiery Islet. I think there's a good chance I end up discarding it, but I'm not going to do it yet. Okay, there's Chandra. There's a green source, too. Don't love that we have all these pain lands. I think I'm going to put this to the bottom, put this on top. Play Mountain and pass. Yeah, having 2 pain lands is a little rough. Sure. I think I'm just going to fire this off to make them sack a dude here. Try to keep the board as clean as possible. Probably sack the Revoker, which is just a pretty neutral trade. 2 mana for 2 mana. Yep, take 2. And then if they don't have another threat, we can play Chandra and kill their Figure of Destiny, which would be great. That seems a little unlikely. Okay, they kill our Malcolm, sure. Alright, I mean, I'll go for it. It'd be amazing if they don't have a haste creature, but it seems pretty unlikely. Even if they do, though, that's not a bad exchange. We trade with their thing that they put 2 mana into, then they have to spend some damage to kill this. Winota. Okay, so we can't kill that yet. That's a little scary. Oh, wait, we can Vampiric Tutor. That's interesting. Okay. So we could play Hullbreacher and Leovold. That'd be kind of funny. And probably correct. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So we're a little bit short. We could play Vampiric Tutor plus Hullbreacher plus Wheel of Fortune all together, but we can't spend 2 mana to crack one of these things. So, yeah, we can't do everything this turn. But let's go for Hullbreacher. We have to pay 2 life to do this play. Don't love that, but I think it is correct. And so now this is the huge turn of the game. We can likely hit them with a Wheel of Fortune next turn to take out their hand and like create infinite resources for ourselves. I'm not sure how this works with us having 2 of these, actually. We also have to decide if we want to get greedy and double block, but that seems just like that can't be correct. Thundermaw, Hellkite. Okay, so they could just go for lethal. They get 1 Winota trigger. And they're tapped out, so we can pretty safely double block the Winota. They brick. That's huge. So I really hope they kill the Leovold. They'll probably kill... Yeah, okay, they do. Nice. They killed that just thinking it was a 3-3 versus a 3-2, but now we get 7 treasures, which is a big... And they don't get any cards, so this is just way better. So... Yeah, let's just play this now. We're going to 7, of course. That is pretty low, but I still think we're in a great spot. Grab Wheel of Fortune. Draw it. Make some mana. Cast Wheel. So they lose their hand. We get all this stuff. We do have a clean way to kill this thing, so let's go. I mean, yeah, we can't lose from this position. We play Channeler. Play Heat. Keep that. Then we hit for 3 and just pass with 3 counters up and can never lose. I guess I'll go to 6. Cast. Pillage the Bog. Don't want that. I don't want to mill myself either, but I'm not too worried about it. Oh, wait, we had Tamiyo on top, didn't we? Well, I'm going to take Bowmasters, actually, just to close out the game a little faster. Firebolt my face. I'll let that happen. Alright, so we can't quite kill them here, but we're getting close. Dome them for 2. Hit them for 1. Swing on in, and then, yeah. No possible way to lose from this position. Unless there was exquisite Firecraft in the format, which I don't think there is. Even if they have 2 ways to kill us at instant speed, it does not do it. Just for good measure. Alright, so we take down Boros aggro in game 1. Could be a kind of tough matchup since our removal is a little lacking. Let's bring this in. Vampiric Tutor did kind of win us that game. Treachery actually looks really good against their deck. If they have like more expensive stuff. If they just tap out for Thundermaw and then you can Treachery it, that's a really good play. Vampiric Tutor does look a little bit weak. Malcolm is easy for them to kill, but I think it's still worth it. Let's make this exchange again. I think I'm just going to do this. Like, it was good there. I think it's not a card we want to be playing that often. And I'll run it like this. I guess we have 4 removals. If you count Bowmaster's 5 cheap removal spells, so maybe we have better stuff for that than I was giving myself credit for. This hand is great against 1 toughness creatures. Hopefully we see those. And we do. It's going to play Underground Mortuary on turn 1. I would love to surveil a land into the graveyard. Okay, that's not a card we want for a while. But I was hoping to get land to bring back with Wrenn and 6. With that being said, Wrenn and 6 is going to be mostly minusing, is my guess. Slickshot Show Off. It's a little scary. Okay, so let's play... They missed 2 points of damage. I'm going to shock this into play with the plan of playing Bowmasters to kill the Lavamancer, and then hopefully Sheoldred's Edict to kill the Slickshot Show Off. We'll see if they play another creature, though. Okay, best case scenario would have been they play some creature pre-combat. Let's just go for this, though. Could even go for Malcolm to block the Show Off, but that's way worse if they have a removal spell. Looks like they don't, but I'll just take this one. Graveyarding that. Hit for 2, pass, and then plan on Sheoldred's Edict. I don't have Spell Pierce up, notably. Mind Collapse. Okay, that's amazing for us. So let's play our Edict. And then our plan is maybe next turn to go... The question is if we want to play Iteration. Like, we're a little constrained on blue mana here. Oh, they just concede. Okay, well... I mean, yeah, it was pretty over. We were in a very good position. This deck seems really strong. See you in the finals. All right, on the play for the finals. I'll keep this hand. The mana's a bit sketchy. We can't really cast much, but this will surveil. Hopefully we can find a black or a green source for pillage, and then that can keep us digging. Very friendly opponent. Love that. Spoon me. Nice. The Stalking Tiger. Alright, so yeah, looking for just red or black or green land. I will take that. I think there's actually an argument for bottoming it, but I think it's worth it to keep. Do we want to fire it off on turn 2, though? Probably not. Maybe that doesn't actually make sense. Yeah, okay. I don't want to play Strip Mine against this. So I'll just play Island and pass with Sheoldred's Edict up. And honestly, any land in our deck is a good draw at this point. Even another island would get us close to Cryptic. Okay. So I get a 2/2 token. Do we want to Sheoldred's Edict that? Not really. We can answer it pretty easily with other things. It does just save us life. It's a little annoying to play against all aggressive decks, although maybe it looks like they could be more controlling. Yeah, I'm going to hold Sheoldred's Edict to hit a Planeswalker. Hopefully we find a red source so we can stomp this. But let's just untap. Bowmasters. Okay, that works. So I'm going to strip mine their blue source, pass, and then Bowmasters targeting that, and then try to block with the Orc. They do have another blue source. That's too bad. So we'll see if they have a counter. It's not the end of the world if they do, but I certainly want this to resolve. Oh, what? I'm so sorry about that misclick. I meant to target their knight token. That was really poorly done. Okay, well, I'm not going to double block here. I'll just take this and be sad. So what we should have done is target this, have a damage on it, block with the Orc, trade. Instead, they have this 2/2 still in play, which is not terrible, but it does, like, we need to answer in some way. They portable hold to take out our Bowmasters. That's fine. And then we once again are hoping to find red source, green source, blue source, black source, just any land. Even a tapped land would be okay, but not as good. We do see the tapped land. All right. Gonna graveyard that. Pass turn with Sheoldred's Edict up. Yeah, pretty big misplay on the Bowmasters there. Sorry about that. Hoping they play like a Planeswalker or something and we can just cleanly answer it with this. So 13 lands out of 29 cards. But we can also pillage the bog to dig. Loran. Alright. So, I mean, that Loran is just not good. I'm not even going to use the Sheoldred's Edict. Weird to be, like, when we're so constrained on mana, still playing this way. I'm just going to jam Leovold here, actually, rather than pillaging for a land. Stabilizes the board pretty well and shuts off a lot of stuff that they could go for. Both players stuck on 3 mana. Huh, they make their own Leovold, okay. We can kill that pretty easily. They will get to draw a card off of it unless we do it on their turn, though. But if we stop this, then we lose our Bone Crusher. That's a little unfortunate. Let's pillage the bog, looking for land. Okay, so Nurturing Peatland versus Island. I guess Island is pretty much just better. It doesn't mean we don't have Peatland for this turn. But it means we have Cryptic for next turn. No red source, notably. Yeah, I'm just going to take Island. There's some argument also to, like, to taking Force of Will, but I think this is better. Now, am I okay with trading Leovolds? Okay. Yeah, so that gets me, I don't get to draw a card. They do, so that's pretty good for them. Yeah, I gotta find a way to kill their Leovold. Really sucks to still not have any red sources. We have 5 non-red sources on the bottom, so in our next 21, we should be able to find one soon. Another swamp, okay. This is not acceptable. Like, we're going to lose to this really quickly. I guess we can... Oh, no. What we can do is just Cryptic Bounce. Cryptic is going to die, though, is the annoying thing. It's going to get fizzled, and we're not going to have Spell Pierce up. This is really awkward, actually. I think I'm still doing it, though. I think we can't let them be drawing 2 cards a turn. We can't let them have this Leovold. So now they're going to be up on cards, but we're going to be up on Leovolds. Our hand is just terrible, though. It's truly atrocious. The fact that these are early game cards. You don't want to be like waiting until turn 8 when you can finally cast your Channeler that you've been saving up. So now that they stack that well, so we don't get to draw. I mean, I'll say yes, but we don't get to draw any cards here. And they do get to draw 2 cards, I think. I guess we do get to eventually draw from this weird stack. So they lose their Leovold. Then this fizzles. I don't know whose Leovold this is. Hopefully I get to draw nice. Okay, so I get to draw 2 at the end here. Okay, this is fine. Still no red source. Another red spell. After the dust settles, they do get to untap, and they have potentially up to 5 mana, so could be dicey. Sheoldred Edict will be good if we can clear out these small dudes, but yeah, we'll see what they have. They can also just cast this. Not too worried about that, though. Selfless Spirit. Okay, we need to kill that first. Yeah, I mean, this game is just entirely if we can find a red source in the next, like, few draws. We've already gone through so much of our deck, well over half. Nice, finally. Okay, so let's bottom both of these. And then Firebolt Selfless Spirit. Now I pass with Spell Pierce up and Sheoldred Edict. We can Spell Pierce the Virtue if they go for that. I'll trade if they offer that. I'm probably just taking 2. These should have traded a long ago, and that's cost us, I guess, not that much, like 4 life. I think we're probably over 50% though. Now that we have our red source, it would be good to get back this. I don't know if we have good ways to kill artifacts though. I hope this is just this 5-drop. Phyrexian Metamorph. Okay, that's fine. That's weird. I don't really know what their plan is here. Make it 2/2 or Portable Hole my 1/1? Sure. I think I am actually going to fire off the Sheoldred Edict here to take out their Night token. And I'm going to take out the token instead of the Loran. Either way, they can have us both draw if they want to do that. And this way is better if we find either a way to get back our Orc or a way to, or like Wrenn and 6. Wrenn and 6 minus on the Loran would be a pretty nice line. So we take 2 down to 12. We're going to take another 1 down to 11 to use our Fiery Islet for our 1 red mana per turn. Okay, Counterspell's a good draw. Seems like playing Channeler's got to be better than stomping their Loran, so let's just do this. They can have us both draw if they want, but we have Spell Pierce and Counterspell up, so I think we're in a solid spot. And then eventually we'll find Hull Breacher and we can do our combo. Jeez, a lot of Moxen over there. That is definitely something to counter. Gonna graveyard that. I wouldn't mind drawing it. I just need to find more red lands first. Okay, I'm gonna Spell Pierce the original Teferi. Okay, do we want a second red land? I actually think I will, weirdly enough. Feels a little strange to keep a land at this stage in the game, but I like the idea of being able to stomp and then play Bone Crusher. So we'll see if they want to make us both draw here. I'll keep that. We can start recurring Strip Mine. In fact, do we want to start doing that now? Oh, no, we're too constrained on red mana to do it right now, of course. So let's just use our red mana. And now they are top decking. They have this Virtue, but that doesn't do anything on its own. Even if they have another creature, still seems fine. And we have 7 power on the board. Maybe keeping Ren and 6 was wrong there, although we can just get the Fiery Islet going. So let's go green, red, Ren. Grab Strip Mine. And I'm just going to start going after their blue sources. And then next turn we can kill them with Firebolt plus our hit for 7. Okay, we're already seeing the benefits of taking them off of a blue mana if they're playing Ponder. Now they only have 1 left, so that takes out like Upheaval, Time Warp, a lot of stuff that could be problems. So they're just like pretty standard blue-white control, maybe a little bit higher of a creature count with a couple clones. So they are playing to the board more, and I want to keep removal, but they're pretty controlling. They also have a couple Moxen. So Dark Confidant, that's like the kind of card that's an interesting choice. I don't think I need to be cutting my Pain Lands here. What would I cut for the Dark Confidant? Treachery seems pretty bad here as well. Yeah, I think I like that exchange. It also makes Dark Confidant better. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red sources. Seems fine. I'm not going to like bring in this though. Is there any benefit to Scrubland? I don't think so. I have no white fetches. Yeah, let's just run it like this. I don't think Duelist of the Mind is necessary. I think Dark Confidant's a bit better. So yeah, we'll submit. Okay. Not the best, not the worst. I think I will keep it on the draw on the strength of Force of Will. Don't want to have to pitch Hull Breacher though. It's good if they just have like land Mox into like something we need to answer, but yeah, that's fine. Dark Confidant might be bad though against the turn 1 Selfless Spirit draw. Would love to find a tapped land, a Pain Land. Ugh. Okay. Pretty rough to draw both of these and Dark Confidant. These are the only 3 things in our deck that pay life here. I guess other than Vampiric Tutor. So I think I'm fine just Sheoldred's Edict on this. I'm not going to play Dark Confidant this game. At least not for a while. Okay, so that can get a blue-black land. Yeah, let's just do that. And if they counter it, I'm fine with it. Ooh, it would be bad if they have Tishana's Tidebinder here. I would have to use Force of Will. Nice. And then next turn, I think I'm just going to go for... Well, I want to cast Hull Breacher, but I don't want to lose Force of Will. Interesting draw. Given that, I actually think I might just play Dark Confidant, funnily enough. Yeah, I think we're now in a spot where we can pretty safely do this. Let's Spell Pierce up. They remand, that's fine. Pass back. This way we didn't have to pay any life as well. And we can Spell Pierce if they go for Teferi. I would love to Hull Breacher in response to that, but oh well. Okay, so they're definitely representing Counter Magic again. We'll see what we draw. Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay, well, given that, we should probably just go for the Hull Breacher. We can protect it with a couple things. They have a Hull Breacher of their own. Interesting. I mean, we can't let this resolve. So I think I'm just going to go Force of Will, pitching Spell Pierce. And then the question is, do we want to play Hull Breacher now? I think I'm going to wait, though, and do it at the end of their turn. Like, this is worse against them having Counter Magic, but it's better against them having a Sweeper. And if they have Counter Magic, they can just counter the Wheel of Fortune anyways. So I think I'd rather play around them having removal than playing around Counter Magic here. Okay. So we get to go for a combo, almost definitely. They do have these 2 things, so that is somewhat of a real consideration, but still seemed like a very good position. Untap. I'll just grab Island. Play Wheel of Fortune, and then hopefully no Path or Swords to Plowshares. Nice. All right, so we did our combo. Let's see what we draw, but we draw a lot. Okay, that's great, so we can just do everything. Let's go Orcish Bowmasters to kill this. They do have Shelldock Isle. That's one concern. I think I feel pretty safe. Just I'll pay life here and then kill this. So they don't get any tokens and we can start attacking. Hit for 3 and pass. So now they're top decking. It just depends on what's under Shelldock. Our hand is actually pretty bad. But we have 7 damage on board. We can start cracking the peatland. We can also strip mine their Shelldock Isle to force the issue. Let's untap. Iteration, good draw. Also a good draw. Okay, so I'm going to go hand, bottom, exile. Then I'm going to go strip mine, kill your Shelldock, and they concede. All right, well, that was a pretty satisfying league. This deck is busted. Clean 6-0. We did not drop a game. Yeah, so this was the deck. It had a really clear game plan that it was able to execute well. We had we had a Leovold plus Hullbreacher plus Orcish Bowmasters as 3 cards that make Wheel of Fortune essentially a game-ending play. So our plan was to just play a controlling game plan with a bunch of cheap interaction and counter magic until we are able to set up that combo and win from there. Being able to back that up with counterspell, spell pierce, force of will was huge. We also had a bunch of cheap spot removal and just high card quality in general. The combo cards were all good on their own. Just playing Leovold or just playing Orcish Bowmasters is totally fine even if you don't have your Wheel of Fortune. So there was basically never a situation where you just had a combo piece in your hand rotting and doing nothing. Yeah, it was just a really well-rounded and powerful deck. The mana base was great. We had no triomes, which is kind of weird, but the Surveil lands gave us good card selection. We got some nice Wrenn and 6 value at some points. Never went hard on the Wrenn and 6 strip mine thing, but still, that was just a really sweet league and my favorite kind of deck. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I'll see you next time.